This little boy struggles in learning new things and often stays lost in thoughts. But his ignorant parents don't understand him and send him away. The boy loses his light soon, but there's someone who is determined to fix everything. Ishaan Awasthi is an 8-year-old boy who always fails in almost every subject. At school, the teachers return the exam papers and admire all the students except Ishaan, as he failed again. Ishaan doesn't care about this matter, and he is more interested in gathering small fish from a water canal near the school. After reaching home, he gives away his exam report to his pet dogs to play. Then he rushes to his apartment and puts the new fish in his fishbowl. His mother Maya keeps advising him to change uniform and wash, but he doesn't listen, and starts playing with a puzzle. His brother Johan also returns home and tells his mother that he scored highest marks in every subject. Maya also asks Ishaan about the result, but he avoids the question and runs downstairs to play with the dogs. Some other kids are playing nearby and ask Ishaan to pass the ball, but Ishaan accidentally throws it out of the building. A boy bullies Ishaan for his poor throw and starts beating him. Ishaan bites his arm and runs to the roof. He cries out of helplessness and wishes he was more efficient like other kids. Suddenly, a kite falls near him, and Ishaan takes it home. The boy he fought with has brought his parents. He even exaggerates and says that Ishaan tore his clothes. Instead of giving him a chance to explain, Ishaan's father, Nand Kishore, blames him for the whole incident. Maya also doesn't listen to him and advises his son to avoid fighting with other kids. She treats her wounds and puts him to sleep. Next day, everyone is going at full speed to succeed in life. Nand Kishore dresses up for his business tour and leaves the house. Maya is busy doing house chores and preparing breakfast for her kids, and Johan gets up early in the morning to prepare for his school tests. Meanwhile, Ishaan's world is going slower than others. He gets up really late, barely washes up, and goes to school. The first lesson is English, and the teacher asks Ishaan to identify the adjectives from a book page. Ishaan struggles to read the words and says that they are dancing. The teacher assumes that he is making jokes, so she sends him out of the class. After the lesson bell, he returns to the class, but a student reminds him of the math homework Ishaan hasn't done. He is afraid to face the teacher, so he sneaks out of the classroom. There's no guard on the school gate, so Ishaan takes this chance to run away. He keeps wandering the streets alone and observes the daily life of other people. Then he gets back to school and sleeps on the bus. After returning home, he gets busy with his favorite activity, painting. Johan notices him and admires the art. He is the only one in the family who knows that Ishaan is really creative, but he lacks in memorizing lessons. Later that night, Maya helps Ishaan in doing homework, but he keeps writing wrong spellings of the same word. Maya scolds him for being careless, but Ishaan refuses to do it again and runs away. In the middle of night, he wakes up his brother and tells him that he bunked the school because of the math lesson. Ishaan requests Johan to write him a fake absent note, but Johan is afraid of getting caught. Ishaan keeps begging and promises to never do it again, so Johan helps him for the last time. Next day, Ishaan shows the absent note, and the teacher accepts it as she knows Ishaan's handwriting can never be this good, so it must be from his parents. However, Ishaan has to give the surprise quiz. The first question is what equals 3 multiplied by 9. Unlike other kids, Ishaan's mind works in a totally different way. He imagines himself as a space explorer and the numbers as different planets. He performs multiplication by collapsing the planets and assumes that the answer is 3. From his perspective, he did really well on the test, but of course he will fail again. After returning home, he greets his dad who just returned from the business trip. Afterwards, he sits down to eat lunch. Nand Kishore is trying to find a magazine and gets his hands on the absent note Ishaan tried to hide. He calls him immediately and asks what's the whole story. Ishaan admits that he ran away from school, but he doesn't reveal that Johan wrote the absent note. Nand Kishore beats him in anger and goes to meet his principal the very next day. The teachers have a bunch of complaints and they all say, Ishaan fails because he is careless, while the principal believes that Ishaan is mentally ill and needs a special school. Instead of figuring out the issue, Nand Kishore blames the school and decides to find a better one. He talks to one of his close friends and makes arrangements for admitting Ishaan to a boarding school. Ishaan starts crying and begging for another chance, but Nand Kishore doesn't listen to him. Poor Ishaan gets really quiet and stops talking much. He doesn't even celebrate his favorite Diwali festival. He also starts having nightmares about getting separated from his mother, but no one bothers to understand him. Nand Kishore is determined to stay with what he said and drops Ishaan at the boarding school. The poor boy keeps crying for days and doesn't fit in at all. In his first class, the teacher asks him to summarize a poem. Ishaan answers in his own words, but the teacher wants the answer from the notes and scolds Ishaan. His desk mate is a kind boy named Rajan, who's really great at studies. He tells Ishaan that not all students come here as a punishment, so he should also try to accept it. Afterward, they head to the art class. This one should be about creativity, but the strict teacher forces students to attain perfection. He asks them to copy figures from the board, and one wrong stroke means punishment. The teacher notices Ishaan is not paying attention, but instead of asking the reason, he hits the boy with a wooden scale. In the rest of the lesson, Ishaan struggles the same way. Days keep on passing away, and all teachers are forcing Ishaan to study, but he can't do it, no matter how hard he tries. The words always seem scrambled and flying around in Ishaan's mind, but others can't see it. Ishaan is getting more and more depressed and feels ashamed of himself. When his family comes for a visit, he locks himself in the room. Then he rushes to the sports ground and keeps running in a circle. He seems to be running away from something, but at the same time, Ishaan knows that there's escape. Seeing his condition, Maya insists on taking him home for a few days. But that's not enough. Ishaan knows that he has to return to the same torture cell eventually. He keeps crying all night, and the next morning he climbs up to the top of the school building. Rajan is afraid that Ishaan may try to commit suicide, so he rushes to stop his friend. Luckily, Ishaan has no such plans yet. Rajan calls him to the arts class as a new teacher. Ram Shankar is going to join them. He is totally different from the regular school teachers. He enters the classroom dressed in a funny costume and starts the class by singing and dancing on a song about creativity. All the students vibe with him except Ishaan. After the introduction, Ram gives each student a canvas and asks them to draw whatever comes in their minds. All the students seem really happy and start painting, but Ishaan hasn't moved an inch, but Ram doesn't scold him. He is the first one who actually gives Ishaan some time to gather his thoughts. However, Ishaan still doesn't draw anything, and he also doesn't reply to Ram's questions. Later that day, other teachers inquire about Ram's unique way of teaching. Ram explains that his happiness is seeing his students happy, but other teachers don't seem to agree. They know that Ram used to teach in a special school for mentally unstable kids, so they say that such methods will only work there as the special students don't have a future anyway. But in this school, they prepare students to compete in the real world. Ram doesn't respond to these ill statements and leaves the staff room. Later that night, Ishaan gets a call from his mother who tells him that she can't come to meet him on the weekend. As Johan is having his final tennis match, Ishaan hangs up without saying a word and starts believing that his parents only care about his elder brother because he excels in everything. The next day, Ram goes to talk with Rajan to know more about Ishaan. After learning that Ishaan is having problems with writing and reading, Ram rushes to check his notebooks. They all are full of mistakes and red marks. Ram can't get this issue out of his mind. He goes to meet his students at previous school and talks to his friend Jabin about Ishaan. He is afraid that Ishaan will lose himself while trying to compete with the world. On one hand, the parents of special students are happy to see their kids trying to do the bare minimum, while on the other hand, parents like Nankishore aren't satisfied with kids like Johan who are giving their best. And then there are those kids who never get a chance to show their talent at all and become a victim of child labor. Ram is determined to try his best for Ishaan and visits his parents. He asks for his notebooks and finds a painting in it. He gets really shocked to know that Ishaan likes painting because he never drew anything in the art class. He also sees the flip book in which Ishaan drew himself, drifting away from his parents. Ram asks Ishaan's parents if the kid struggles in doing the tasks like buttoning his shirt or catching a ball. When they agree, he asks them to see the pattern in his mistakes in writing. He gets confused with similar letters and also mixes up the spellings. He can't understand anything because he can't read properly. Nankishore refuses to accept that and says that Ishaan is just being careless and stubborn. To convince him, Ram grabs a Chinese toy box and asks Nankishore to read what's written on it. When Nankishore says he can't, Ram tells him to try harder and stop being careless and stubborn. This makes Nankishore realize what Ishaan goes through every day. He is forced to read when he can't understand. Ram explains that it is a disease called dyslexia. Hearing about the disease, Nankishore gets enraged at his son being called mentally ill. Ram explains that Ishaan doesn't lack mental capability. His drawings clearly show how creative he is. But Nankishore says that Ishaan's talent in drawing is useless and he may not be able to get a competitive degree. Ram gets irritated to hear that. Why is everyone obsessed with good grades and competitive careers? Why can't a kid become what he wants? But Nankishore says they have no other option. However, Ram has no intention of giving up. The next day in class, he tells students about a boy who had problems in writing and reading. Ishaan gets nervous that Ram is going to say his name, but Ram is actually talking about Einstein. Then he lists down all the great scientists and philosophers who suffered from dyslexia but still succeeded in life. After the class, Ram tells Ishaan that he left one name from the list, and that's Ram's name. He also had the same problem and his parents gave up on him, but he didn't. And now he has become an independent man. This helps Ishaan gain confidence and he takes part in the art class. The next day, Ram meets the principal and tells him about Ishaan's disease. The principal is delighted to know that because now he has an excuse to strike off Ishaan and suggest that he gets admitted to a special school. But Ram believes Ishaan deserves to study in a normal school with other kids. He just needs some extra concentration. Ram is willing to do that, and he will also work on his writing and reading skills. He just wants a favor from other teachers. Can they just ignore his writing for a few months? The principal agrees to give him a chance, and Ram immediately starts working on Ishaan. To help him recognize words, Ram teaches him through different resources like modeling clay, graphs, audio tapes, and computer games. Soon, Ishaan learns to write and read, and his handwriting is also getting better. Ram also wants to help other kids form a healthy bond with the students, so he arranges a painting competition for both students and teachers. Ishaan gets late for the competition, but Ram keeps waiting for him. As soon as he comes, Ram gives him a canvas to paint his ideas. Ishaan draws the lake he often visits. Ram loves it and lets Ishaan see what he drew. Ram's painting brings tears in Ishaan's eyes because he drew a colorful picture of Ishaan laughing with all his heart. The judges choose Ram's and Ishaan's paintings as the finalists, out of which Ishaan is declared the winner. He is called to the stage to be awarded for the first time in his life. All the students and teachers are cheering for him, and this gives him the confidence boost he needed for so long. At the annual result, Nankishore and Maya visit the school nervously, as they assume that Ishaan may have failed again, like always. But the principal greets them warmly and shows them the yearbook, with Ishaan's painting on the cover page. They also meet his teachers, and instead of complaints, they get lots of compliments for Ishaan. His grades have improved as well. The parents can't believe their eyes and rush to thank Ram. Ishaan is returning home for the holidays, but he wants to come back because he can't lose a great teacher like Ram. All the kids are like stars. Don't let them get lost on the ground.